Right, good morning, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here and share some of my thinking with you. The topic I want to talk about is educate, engage, empower for purpose and profit. The whole conference is all about purpose and profit. My situation is very simple. I live in London. I do a lot of coaching with organizations globally. And one of my very, very biggest passions is about educating people. A little sort of interesting thing, a buzzword that we have these days is the word called empowerment. Empowerment is a wonderful thing. It's fantastic to empower people and help people to make a difference. However, one of the most important things about empowerment is it's all very well giving people the opportunity to empower themselves. The most difficult thing about it is we don't engage and we don't educate. So if you don't educate people and you don't engage with people, and you give them empowerment, you could have a very, very serious situations happen around the world. Brexit, a good example, and some of the elections that are going on internationally. So let's talk about education. I come from a country where I was very well educated and very privileged. I'd like to ask all of you to put your hands up. All of you, I believe, I went to university, you've all been educated, correct? Yeah? It is a privilege, isn't it? And there are many people in this country, in the world, who haven't had any education. My job as a coach is to make absolutely sure that organizations educate and actually on their CSR programs start educating people and helping people in business. The most important thing about education is giving people business skills and helping people to actually set up businesses and innovations. We have some very clever people in the world who do some very, very, very exciting and important businesses. The biggest problem that they've got is they don't have any support. They don't have any coaching. They don't have a training. Most of the organizations that they come from actually do not spend enough money in terms of helping them to develop their personal skills. In terms of the human capital that we have as organizations, we actually, I think, spend a very, very small amount in terms of actually educating and personally developing our people so they can actually get out there and start creating great businesses and doing great, great things. Engagement is another important thing, and that is that very often when we educate or we create businesses, one of the mistakes we make is we don't actually engage with people. And, you know, engagement is really just talking to people, making people understand what it is you're doing and what your brand is really trying to do in terms of making a difference to the world. I am very fortunate that I work with a number of brands who really are doing that. Brands that actually want to make a difference, brands that are passionate about changing people's lives, and brands that are passionate about all the things like climate change, the trash that's actually being chucked in the sea, etc. And so today I really want to tell you some stories which I think will give you an idea of how you can actually produce good businesses that have purpose, but also that are profitable. The word profit is another word we use a lot. In the world today, people believe you cannot be profitable and at the same time be sustainable and have purpose. The three stories I'll tell you are all about brands that actually have serious purpose, are trying to make a big, big difference to people's lives, and at the same time, making a profit. It's very, very strong. And at the same time, guess what? It's made out of trash. So I'll tell you the story about this beautiful bag. This bag I bought in the south of France. I saw it, I thought, my goodness, I really, really want to buy it. But before I bought it, I wanted to find a little bit of history about where it actually came from. This bag is actually made by an American designer called Marty Stevens Heber. And Marty is very, very passionate about trash. And all the trash that actually goes to the sea and everything else. Now, she actually had a very interesting life. She spent many, many years of her life working with the Mexicans in the jungles in Mexico. And what she found fascinating about these Mexicans is that they didn't waste anything. Everything in the jungle was used. Everything, everything, everything. And she thought to herself, there must be a way of how I can actually use this example to actually produce beautiful things and at the same time make a profit and have my purpose. And her purpose was really, as I said, to save the world with style. Now, when I actually saw that bag and it actually came out with that Marty had made it, and it was beautiful, but what the most important thing was that it was actually made out of trash. I'm really passionate. I'm a biologist by education, and I'm passionate about what's going on in the seas, the animals that are being killed today because of the fact that we use too many juice cartons and things like that. So this bag, when being made out of juice cartons, became a real passion for me. And so what I'm now doing is I'm actually going around talking to people about Marty, asking you to go and have a look at her website and find out a little bit more about her. Because what she did was she actually engaged with the juice carton makers and made them send the empty juice cartons to her. She then employed people and educated them to make these beautiful bags. And then what she did was she started writing books, and she got her website together and used social media to engage with people like myself and engage with retailers to actually sell her bags. She's now been going for about 5 to 10 years, and she has one of the most profitable businesses in the world.